I'm a U.S. Navy SEAL, sniper. What's going on in this world is unconstitutional. I don't believe in it. So I prepared me a little speech about how I feel about what's going on. To my fellow Americans, I have never imagined I would stand here one day questioning the moral direction of the country I swore to defend. I am a combat soldier. I was trained to protect the innocent. I was trained to stand between the powerless and those who would harm them. I was trained to recognize what happens when fear replaces law, when cruelty replaces leadership, and when people are taught to look away. This is why I cannot stay silent. What I see happening today under Donald Trump's leadership, especially through the actions of ICE, violates everything I was trained to defend as a soldier. When children are ripped from their families, when desperate people are treated like criminals simply for existing, when agents operate with intimidation instead of accountability, when compassion is mocked as weakness, something is deeply wrong in America. Our country is going down the tubes. You don't have to agree on every policy to know that cruelty should never be one of them. I fought against dictators. I trained to resist regimes that ruled by fear, propaganda, and dehumanization. I studied what happens when governments convince citizens that people matter less than others. And now I look around and I see language that dehumanizes. I see power used to intimidate instead of protect. I see obedience demanded instead of accountability. That is not strength. That is not patriotism. That is not America. America is supposed to be better than this. Patriotism is not blind loyalty to any man. It is loyalty to the Constitution of the United States, to human dignity, to the rule of law, to the idea that no child is disposable and no family is a threat simply for seeking safety. I didn't serve my country so I become the very thing we once stood against. I didn't wear the uniform so innocent people could be treated like collateral damage. And I didn't risk my life overseas just to come home and watch fear replace freedom. We can support borders without supporting brutality. We can believe in law without abandoning humanity. You can love this country and still demand that it do better. In fact, this is what real love of country looks like. I speak out not because I hate America, but because I believe in it, and I believe in the Constitution that I fought for, the oath that I took. And I refuse to accept a future where cruelty is policy, silence is obedience, and injustice is called strength. We can do better, we must do better, and thank you. NASA Mike, out.